Hello and welcome back to the Dark Brew podcast, and it's a very special episode this week. Get ready, put your seatbelts on. We're about to take off. I am Brew, as always.
Dark here. Hey.
And Zoonaga.
Our very special guest. Let's go.
Dark Brew, Dark Brew, Dark and Brew Crew, the podcast.
So we're in it. Gentlemen.
That intro was tight.
I don't know if there's been a sweeter intro.
I think that was probably the best so far.
Feeling it.
Wow.
It is a very special week.
It's already been written, so you've got no pressure to write it. You know what I mean? So it's a good thing. But I'm telling you, it was the greatest. Your greatest work so far. Your greatest work so far.
Well, thank you.
I have great inspiration from everyone. What's up, Zoo?
What's up, man? What's up?
We couldn't get up last week, right? We're secret information here divulged for everybody listening. Zoo was supposed to be on episode 12 last week.
Yeah.
We couldn't make it happen. Our hearts were broken, but we've reconvened this week to make it happen, and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
Appreciate you having me come out here today. I really appreciate it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I never get some good quality FaceTime, you know what I mean? And I feel like we're getting good quality FaceTime right now. Like just peeling back layers right now, breaking through walls.
You stuff with your face.
Like that face he made pre-show. Ooh. But
that face is trademark, by the way. You can't clip that. You can't use that. You have to pay me every time you do.
I'm going to deep fake it and then put it on some porn, and I can't say anything further.
You can't get me then.
Top secret. So, a lot going on, man. I mean, kinda right before the big thing happens. Like we're staying busy, right? In game.
Yeah, what have you guys been up to in game? What's been rocking in ESO for you guys?
Just too much, man. Just too much. Just not enough time. Just a couple cores going on. Core right now is getting close to that VAS 2 here. We're super stoked about that right now. We put some work into that one. We made substantial leaps last week. And we're seeing it. We're going to get there. So we're hoping to get there next week. That'll be an exciting one. Red Pedal motifs just dropped. So you've been finding me in Red Pedal pretty consistently lately. Just trying to get it done. Pugging it when I can't find farms from the fam. Pugging it. A lot of motifs up. I've been selling motifs like mad right now too. Selling lots of motifs, which I'm fucking loving.
That's good. Getting gold rolling. Here we go.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of shit that we got to get here soon. You know what I mean? There's going to be the new patch that comes, and with that, there's going to be more gear and more transmutes and more tempering mats. Yeah. And that's actually going to mean that mats are going to be a lot more expensive here coming up soon. So go get your mats right now, fam. Go get ready, prepare right now, because the sellers know that when the patch drops, you got a bunch of shit you got to get.
Yeah. It happens every time. That's kind of what boosts the market. But I was seeing CUDA on, somebody was saying in chat, CUDA for 4.2K per. That's a hell of a deal, you know? Get those CUDAs while they're cheap, because you're going to have to get new glyphs for all the gear you're making.
Yeah.
But
run around and get resources. If you're listening to this, you only have 1 day left, right, to do that. But do it.
A lot of experienced players have been doing a lot. Oh, no, it's Saturday, Dark. There's 3 days left.
But it'll come out they'll hear this Monday.
He anticipated the release date.
They'll hear this Monday and they'll be like, what? I have 3 days left. Cool.
Oh, shit. That's true. Yeah, but the event's going on, which is great. Obviously, take advantage of the event.
Your ass on that one.
You have all the time in the world. Take your time.
Yeah, it's okay.
There's no patch coming up soon.
Yeah, no patch. There's no event right now that we're fighting over resource nodes. None of that kind of stuff happens. No. But guys, there is an event, the Adventurers event, I believe they called it. That was kind of a surprise that dropped on Thursday.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. You wake up and you go to work and it's like, oh, we got a new event today. Appreciate Zos for that one. Thank you, Papa Zos.
Yeah, that's a big thanks, Zos, right there.
Yeah.
in the event. You get double gold drops from quests, and in general, I believe, you get double resource node drops, which is a big one. And then finally the extra XP. So you get double XP from everything you're doing as well. So it's a great time to level a tune if you're interested in leveling a tune. You know, you heard something's going to be real nice here in the new patch, and you want to try out a different class or something. Now is a good time. Grind it real quick.
The meta is going to be changing here pretty soon, so that mag tunes are going to be using two-handed weapons. Right now, we're kind of using daggers, which was a big shift recently, and it's going to shift in a similar way, which will have mag classes using two-handed. So if you have a mag class and you're one that likes to hang out with the meta, maybe take advantage of this double XP to pull out a maul and start slapping some folks around.
Exactly.
Slapping folks is so fun, right? Am I right?
Here, right? That's what we're doing this for. It's literally the reason I met you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Why we're here.
We're back. It's 2 years ago, just about. Well, next month, I think, is where we really all came together. It's in the March, April, May.
I'm flattered that you remember that. I don't know the exact date, but it was right about March, April.
Yeah.
2 years ago. I'm flattered that
I have a screenshot of that old guild where it showed when we came in, kind of like this one when we joined
Yeah.
the server and
Do you
everything.
recall
And
if I was on
it's a
the list?
few of us I've got in the same shot.
Do you recall if I'm on that list? Because I'd be very.
You are around there because I had taken screenshots of almost all of y'all, right? All the cool players from old one, and I just got to go look for them. I think they're on my other phone.
I would be
I'll
interested
check it
on the exact date. I'm a fucking dork, and I would make myself like a little birthday cake or some shit.
Yeah,
I would be if I could get the exact date, I would be.
I think those things are important. That's why I did that. I was like, this is kind of cool, and this would be neat to just hold.
That's-
Kind of like those screenshots where we're all blowing each other up in Hell Raw. Hard because that's fun to look back at like later. It's not to like be derisive or anything. It's just to, you know.
Very good. I don't think about a lot of that stuff in the moment. That's like I'm terrible at taking pictures most of the time. Like I have a phone that can take all these incredible pictures, but like when I go places, I don't take a lot of pictures unless someone's like, "Hey, take a picture of me," and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure."
The same way, and I have some regret over that.
But you're happy when you do, right? Even though in the moment you might forget about it. I've lost so many band pictures, like when we were up on stage performing, and I'm so upset about it because I was never taking the pictures. It was always my people around me, and they'd be like, "Here, check this out," and they'd either throw it up online on their thing, and I wouldn't save it, and so they're out there, and I'm like, "Where are all my pictures of all that?" And it sucks. So I'm trying to hunt those down.
Good luck in your hunt, buddy.
Thanks. I gotta find our old album. I don't have my first album.
It reminds me.
I gotta go find it.
So, it reminds me of a little bit of a story. It's kind of has nothing to do with what we're talking
Story
about.
time
That's
with
okay.
Zoo. It's our new segment.
Hit me, daddy.
Most of the people that are going to be listening to this know that in my IRL, I play drums, right?
It's
and so I've got
URL.
I've got a couple of drum sets. I've collected some drum sets, but the very first drum set I ever had, my parents bought for me. I was like 14 years old or whatever. And it was a Sunlight drum set, which was like a sister company from like PDP when PDP was just getting started before they were purchased by a big company, and they were based out of Mexico, and it was just like a super obscure, like unknown company called Sunlight, right? Super cheap drum set, but they got it for me at 14. I ended up keeping them for a long time. I got my next drum set when I was probably 17, 18, and I left that Sunlight drum set at somebody's house just because I was irresponsible, some band that I had joined or whatever. Anyways, I look back on that later on in life, and I was very upset that I had lost, like, because now I have this collection of drums. I've got like 7 drum sets, and like, I really wish I could have that original drum set.
The first isn't there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so they're a mixture. I've got
Premiere.
Well, yeah, but I've also got an electronic drum set as well, so they're not like
Those
all
are
acoustic
awesome.
drums. You know what I mean? But anyways, so a couple years back, how did I even think about? Oh, I contacted the guy whose house I had left it at. I said, "Hey, man, I was interested about that drum set. If you still have it by any chance, like somewhere, I'll fucking pay you for it. You've had it for 15 years now, so I'll buy my drum set back from you. And he said he didn't have it anymore. He gave it to his brother. His brother like sold it to a pawn shop. The pawn shop got in touch with the guy that they sold it to. They couldn't give me any information, but they got in touch with him. He called me and said that his son actually still had the drum set. And I was going to drive down to Kentucky. I'm up in Michigan. I was going to drive down to Kentucky and get it. But he called me back like 2 weeks later, said his son was going to be up in Michigan. And if I wanted to buy it, he would have his son just bring it up there. And I was like, bet, $200, let's go. And like, it's just like a 4-piece. It's a small kit. Like, he was like, $200? Fuck yeah, let's do it. Run this. So his son came up with it. I met him somewhere. I bought it, and I have my very first drum set back in my possession now.
And it is, in fact, the very same. Has there been anything added to it? Any chips? Any wear and tear that you're like, ooh?
Oh yeah, it's fucking. Let's see. It was the drum set now itself is probably like 22 or 23 years old. It's been through a handful of owners. It's traveled. It wasn't the best craftsmanship to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got some stories, it's got some love, but I'll be refurbishing it, reskinning it, probably reshelling it, probably replace a lot of the hardware on it, just make her nice and pretty, and she'll never sound like a top quality drum set, but I bet you I can make her sing a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I knew you recently become a DD, and I thought that stand for damage dealer, but it's drum detective.
But yeah, it was a lot of things came together during that didn't necessarily have to. And the end result was me getting that original drum set back, which really made me super, super happy.
That's really awesome.
I've actually considered even using that kit. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get it sounding as nice as I can. I'll see if I want to keep it as a drum set, but I'm considering using that kit for like projects, right? Like turn the floor tom into a table, like a coffee table.
Oh, cool.
Right? Or
incorporating into other aspects of life and R.I.P. the drum.
You could even have like 4 in a row, make a table like that. Do something with it. Maybe you could frame it or put some.
Fucking Pinterest exists, man. I can fucking throw Pinterest for a second. You know what I mean? I'll find some shit.
I used to hate on Pinterest back in the day. All my girlfriends or whatever be messing with it, and I love it. Reference like nowadays I hit it up all the time.
It's a very creative place, which is sweet.
Yeah.
Pinterest and Etsy kind of just flows into Pinterest, which is cool. Like I don't shop Etsy, but like it's a lot of the same people and they just advertise on Pinterest, and that's how I generally find like.
Have you seen the porn version?
Things. Porn version? No.
Yes, Centrist.
Etsy porn? I have not.
Centrist.
And what is it? A wall of just porn pics? Like what am I looking at?
Yeah, just creative naked people doing it, but like with like quilts.
This is the second time you've done this. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I'm making this up, dude. It's a bit.
I'm thinking over here like, holy shit. Well, the last time you were like, dude, you don't know this website?
Idea. Maybe we should cut this out. Maybe we should cut this out so people don't steal this. This could be gold. Arts and crafts and fucking like they all go.
Check out this penis birdhouse I made. It looks really legit. And it's just a huge cock. Is like where
it's the penis sticking out of the little hole,
and the hole or the balls. Like there's one
and a bird, and a bird sitting on the penis. Yeah, dude, we got it.
Fucking copyright that shit.
Wow, watch out, Elon Musk, you dumbass. We're coming.
Watch out, Elon Musk. We're coming for you with an original porn idea.
That's where all the innovative trendsetters go.
Everything's porn now. Porn.
Hey, you ain't lying.
A severe lack of ESO porn on the internet, somebody told me.
Yeah, don't lie. You look for that shit.
Rule
but there 34. Is a depressing lack. Can we get some more Elder Scrolls themed porn, please?
I'm sure it's out there.
I'm sure it is.
Well, very cool. I made a new healer this week to bring it back to ESO.
Ooh, nice.
You have another? You have another healer?
So I have a healer. It was a Templar healer. It's very just kind of traditional.
I remember
healer.
At one point you were working on all 3 of the roles at one point. So in the beginning, Brew, and a lot of people know this, was just the DD, like staunchly just the DD.
I don't want to do anything else.
That was
just
it.
Damage.
But yeah, then I remember. He swerved overnight and all of a sudden wanted to be the guy that could do everything. So yeah, I remember when you made the tank and when you made the healer, and you got the tags, you got the disco tags for a healer and a tank. You had all three of the tags, and you were working on them. You were doing them, and then they just kind of floated away.
In fact, I revamped the outfit of my tank, so I might be working on it again because I'm really in love with how my tank looks now, and I'm like, that's super important. You got to be rocking a good fit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, maybe I will bring him back just to like get more diversification in my gameplay. Again, I've been running the Magblade quite a lot lately. That's kind of been exclusive all I've been running. So I was like, you know what? Let's do other Nightblade stuff. And so my Nightblade tank might make a comeback here and get it ready for like vet dungeons and stuff. Maybe not vet trials, but you do some vet dungeon arrows with it. And then I just made a Nightblade healer. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's not common, but I want to make a Nightblade healer. We'll make it work. It may not be meta, but
you can clear any content with any class on any role. You can. You might not. The most difficult part, I think, about clearing a vet trial as a Nightblade tank would be finding a group that wouldn't mind letting you in, even though they're sacrificing some buffs. Right, yeah. Like if you had for us, for instance, if you made your Nightblade tank brew, you could clear vet content because you could find groups, because Dynasty has plenty of activity. You could find groups, but you can still get it done. It's not like losing those buffs from group is going to mean that you can't get this vet trial done. Now,
the difference between clear and not clear is not just a tank buff that's missing or two tanks.
Zoff really specifically set it up to where you could do any role on any class and you could customize it, and that's actually the reason why they're making this new change. That'll have mag users using two-handed that we kind of alluded to early on. They're doing that specifically because they want their game to be customizable to what you want to do. If you want to make a spell sword, they want you to be able to do that without losing any viability. So the change actually is just saying that now, rather than your damage scaling off of only being able to utilize, if you're a magic attune, mag weapons, or if you're a stamina attune, stam weapons, they're just kind of making it to where all weapons will always scale off of whatever you do.
Yeah.
So now you can use any kind of melee weapon, and all that damage will scale off your mag pool, because chances are your mag pool is going to be the high one if you're a mag tune, right? So yeah, they just want you to be able to do whatever you want. If you want to be a mag,
like that for a little bit, right? I mean, like
they changed
with the daggers,
the skills recently, that they hybridized skills to scale off of whichever one is higher.
They changed all to do the same thing, so sets don't just scale off one or the other. That boost that used to just give spell damage now will give spell and weapon damage. Yeah, they want their game. They want people to be able to do what they want to do without sacrificing viability.
Yeah, without.
And I don't think they're going to do it with everything though. Like or maybe damage, but the other stuff, there'll still be sets that are more for stam. Because they give you a.
I think it'll be more based off play style, and the stam buff is real nice on it or something. But it's going to be a stam and mag buff. But the play style will fit a stam and a tune better,
the damage.
I think.
Yeah,
but it comes back to the core. It comes back to what you slot your character skill points into. Or not skill points, pardon me, attribute points. That's the very base of the game is picking where, blue, red, or green, where you put in that point. And so wherever you put it, that's how things are going to be optimized based off of that. And it's not as limiting as Zoo said.
And it's saying off of what you were saying earlier, like picking a different race that's not the meta or something that's off. Just know if you do that too, it's not all bad. You're probably going to have an advantage in some other area if you're,
what is it? All classes are like within 5% DPS generally if like you're perfect. So come on.
Like an Imperial or something that's not like a damage class. Let's say you want to do that. Well, you're going to get some benefits from that. You're going to be...
You're sacrificing that damage for another little perk.
Right.
I think resistance. I think that's important to remember.
Health.
I think a lot of people, they lean into that meta, which is great. And especially a lot of newer people that want to be a part of that meta. And so they're looking up these guilds, or they're looking up these builds online and whatnot. It's easy to forget that. And it's easy to really not even consider that maybe sometimes. But yeah, there's something to be said about wanting to min-max, right? And wanting to pick the race that's exactly good, for what you're
because in-game stuff wants that. And that's that trickles down, that perception that you need all that.
you'll be within 5% regardless of what you do. So if you want to be a Khajiit because you like the way it looks when you're a cat, then fucking be a Khajiit, and you can still be very effective. You can still clear content. You can still like do what you want to do and have some fun with it. But if what you want to do happens to be that extra 5%, then fucking do that too.
Yeah. That's exciting. I
It
think
is.
it's exciting for new players and
It's-
to the
it's cool
cranky
that
old
it's not-
gamers. Ugh, I hate the
It's cool
older
that it's not
fans who are like,
and you
"Oh,
can
you're
find
killing it. You're destroying it. This makes no sense." Well, it makes plenty sense.
Hey, life is adapt and overcome and keep adapting to how life changes too. So it's get over it.
Yeah.
Old stuck in the mud players, like, it changes. If you want to take what the game was in the very beginning, oh my god, a lot of people were like, "This, I don't know, if this game's gonna make it." So
It's
bare
cool to see
bones
people come back though, and I
the
love
variety
those
and the spice
stories.
of life and keeping things moving and innovating is always, I think, going to keep things fresh and
yeah,
relevant.
yeah.
Even even the people that don't necessarily like it, I think they like it without knowing it, because like that's what like it's interesting. It continues to be fun, and it, you continue to grow and adapt with it rather than getting to a point, getting to a plateau, and then that's just kind of it. It wouldn't last very long, right? How long can you just do that for?
You're not learning. You're not doing anything new. You're not constantly
Right. It keeps the
invested.
players that have been here for forever, that are have done the content, a ton of stuff, done all the trial stuff. They have to keep reparsing and keep changing, and they it pushes them to keep up too. I mean, it's a little bit easier because similar, we've done it
Yeah, you
before.
get to play the
even though
game
it's
a bit
changing.
differently every patch.
But yeah, it's right, and it's you got to keep up with that too if you want, So it gives an urge a little bit to use the new stuff that's given to you and learn it, and the more new stuff they keep putting in, I'm loving it. I can't wait for these blind runs coming up for these new dungeons, right, guys?
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah.
be that'll be a fun week. That'll be a fun week for sure. Going right in, pulling hard mode right off the bat.
Are you saving that for the dangs? Are you gonna save?
Yeah, that's usually how we'll do it. When Red Petal and the Dread Cellar drop, that's what we did. When the Black Drake and Castle Thorn dropped before that, I think that's the two that came out together. No, Castle Thorn came out with Stone Garden. Black Drake came out with
The Cauldron.
Aldrin. That's the one. But yeah, that's
last year.
what we'll do. We'll fucking get in there and kind of have some fun with it.
So I'm gonna preface this. Zoonaga here, our special guest, is part of a prog group that's been together for how long?
Over a year now. Again, I don't know the
that.
exact date. I wish we had a screenshot of it.
Y'all were running fall 2020, I believe, or like the end of the year. I want to say.
Well, if I've been together for just about 2 years now, if we've been together as a group for just about 2 years now, then I would have to guess it's going to be probably a year and 4 months ish.
I think it's something like that.
It was a pretty substantial amount of time. When we all met before we kind of started breaking off into like the little, we got our like little. I hate to use the word clique, but that's what naturally happens when you have social gatherings. Like people naturally find people that they kind of jive with, right? That's what we do. So yeah, it was probably, I'd have to guess, at least 6 or 8 months before we kind of linked up. And it was just kind of like a thing of chance. We got together to do, I think, dailies, and we wanted to do vet dailies, right? And Unhallowed Grave was the DLC. Vet Daily Undaunted, and we did that and fucking breezed through it. It was great. We had Neck and Roth with us, who had already kind of started gaming together. They already had kind of started like building a little bond. I joined that group, and there was who was the Funky Flamingo? Funk Flamingo was our healer.
Dr. Ouroboros now.
Yes, yeah. And so we breezed through it. It was great. It was fun. So like I was considering it like later on that night, and I opened up a group chat with those guys, and I was like, hey, I thought like that our dailies we did today were fucking awesome. We blew through Unhallowed. Maybe we should get together and maybe try to go after some stuff, right? Because I was already kind of starting getting.
You're getting to the point where you're interested in getting to that 100.
Yeah. So we did, and we worked out a day that worked for all of us. And Funk actually came out with us that first night, and we had a great time. We got our Falkreath hold that first night. We got our skin in there, and took our screenshots and all that stuff. And then Funk, I think, ended up getting kind of busy, kind of going off on his own direction. So we evolved from there. But yeah, it all just started.
Funk is the original member of the Dang Boys.
The original member. Yeah.
Oh my god!
We only ran one night with them. We only ran the one night with them. our very first night, and then
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Y'all are still
But yeah,
killing it.
it was just a victim of a fucking chance. So if that fucking happens to any of you guys out there, you find yourself in a good group, maybe just fucking bring it up.
So
Like,
is
yeah.
our graphics designer, who we and our guest we had on, Captain Snacky, she's in the dangs now, right? So she's a dang boy.
She's a dang boy. Absolutely.
Yeah, Snacky's a boy.
It's not funny.
Just
That's
wanted to
not
say
funny.
that.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. That's not funny. That's how we do things, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal, all right?
Yeah.
She also puts her dang on the table.
She flops it down just as hard as any of us do.
Yeah.
All the dang bang.
Flops that dang. She ain't afraid to flop that dang.
The dang bang.
Yep. Yeah.
How'd it go last night? Y'all did.
It went
Red Pedal?
well. It went well. So it was our second week in Red Pedal. The first week we went into Red Pedal, and it was a struggle, right? We were getting kind of slapped around, and so we did what we do. We throughout the week we discussed, okay, this is what was happening, in our group chat. We kind of came up with some theories on how we think we can best mitigate, the things that were fucking us up. And so we went back in there and we put together a new strategy. I'd been in there with some other various groups throughout the week, and I kind of seen some other people's strategy, and so we adapted some of that as well. And last night we were getting to execute. So we decided to do the 2 of the 3 secret bosses to get a couple of the buffs because we think we can get it done in that time. We were the best pull before somebody died. I think we got close to execute, not into execute. We still had 4 minutes left. So we're going to be good, I think, on time. But regardless of that, we've got our strategy. We've already talked a little bit in chat this morning. We're all super hyped about it. We think we're going to get it next week. We think that we're just giving legitimate pulls on the Perfecta now. We've got our strategy. We figured out what we want to do. Now we're just pulling the Perfecta until we bang. Got the hard mode done a couple times last night. Feeling pretty good about it. But no, we didn't get it done. Not like the fucking OPMC boys did.
Hey!
Big move last night, boys. Big move on that leave no bone unbroken. That's a big one. That's a tough one.
It was almost a month in there. It was always in that execute. 18%. Somebody would die around there. 2018. Oh my god.
Yep, that's
Good
especially. I mean, that dungeon. Once you've been in there, that amount of times, really the whole thing just comes down to that last phase. The whole
dungeon
thing.
Yeah, the whole dungeon.
Automatic. We have to watch ourselves because it's so automatic, but you can still get clapped in there if you're not, paying.
So yeah, ideally, that last phase will only last what, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, right? That last phase, ideally, once you go to that wall phase,
but
it's
man,
gonna.
When those colossi come out and walls are going this way and that, and there's a poison maybe and not in the best place because it happens that way. And then you're trying to get mag. Like celerity is really good in that fight. Celerity and expert evasion.
But like when you look at the whole thing, the grand scheme, the reason, one of the things I think it's so fun doing this kind of content that we like to do, is because you're doing these 25-minute runs to try to
get
get
a
this
rep on the last 30 seconds or last
and that's
2
what it
minutes.
comes down to. That's what it comes down to. You get to a point where of this 25-minute run, 24 and a half minutes of that run is just automatic. But that last 30 seconds is really what you're progging at the end. That's really what you're trying to get over that hump of at the end. So you might do this a bunch of times over and over and over again just to beat that last 30 seconds, just to...
We kept calling it the Super Bowl. I was like, we made it back to the Super Bowl, guys. We're conference champions 17 years in a row. It's our 18th run. I'm like, come on, this is our year. We're worse than the Bills, man.
This is our year.
I'll tell you what, that feeling when you do that, right? You said you spent a month in there. That feeling when you do that, you're
When
fucking high-stepping. It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. You're high-stepping around your living room like, what's up? What's up?
We got to like that area, that percentage so many times that I have ice water in my veins until that moment. And then when I see we're all up and it's like 12%, dude, I'm Michael J. Fox over here, dude. I'm
So
like immediately
the hands
sweat
get all
just starts
clammy.
pouring. Yeah, dude, and I was like, my adrenaline like surged. Right, so when we got it, it cleared it, and it was like, oh, he's actually dead. I think we lost you.
No, I'm gonna make the switch back.
Literally shaking. I haven't shaked playing content in quite some time. Like
that
for me,
rush is why we play, or why a lot of people play.
Yeah.
This triple was my ultimate triple that I'd put up there.
It was your white
Until the
whale,
next
right?
one.
Yeah.
It was your-
Yeah.
And,
Well,
right?
this one
Until,
just
like,
above all others. Not that it's. I mean, it's tough, but I don't think
Ours
it's
was-
the toughest. But for
I
me,
can absolutely relate to that. Ours was Scale Caller, right? We went into Scale Caller early on in our career. It was early on, and we the hard mode was like it was fucking ridiculous. It was and I remember having a conversation. It was like our third or fourth week together. We're in Scale Caller. We're pulling the hard mode, right? We're trying to go up to the hard mode early on in our career, and I remember talking to the guys like, how the fuck do people get that mountain god achievement? How was that a thing? Like, people do that? First of all, and you get through the whole dungeon without dying, and at that point, it was difficult for us. You know what I mean? You get through the whole dungeon without dying, then you have to do this. So yeah, that one kind of became our white whale, and we circled back around to it, and it took us quite a while. I don't remember how long, but I'm sure it was a month or longer. And you finally get it. Yeah, I can relate to that, my man. So good on you. I'm happy for you. That's a good one for you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
It's so cool to wake
Shout
up
out
to
to
see
my
those in the disco.
awesome group. Gerb, Dab, Crispy.
I'm not gonna lie.
You guys are
I'm not
amazing.
gonna lie. I fucking woke up this morning, and it was one of the first 3 things I did this morning was check the disco for the verification, because I know them boys are getting after. I know they've been getting after. I know that's what they're trying to get. And I saw it this morning as soon as I woke up, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! fucking A right."
The support, man. Like, and I do the same
Fucking
thing. I
right.
love seeing what the Danes get done, or anybody else in our guild. I love, one of my favorite things. I've said this before. I love getting people through their first or their tough thing, or especially
I love seeing the verification channel flow.
Yeah, man. I love getting people to where maybe I've been before, because we've been there and we know how it feels, and we know how it is to have people kind of help along until whatever.
It's a little selfish. It's a little selfish because I'm really hoping that if you're helping, you help some people with that, a couple of them end up getting that itch, right? And then they become that next level of end game players within the guild, and we're seeing a core 2 start with.
That's kind of selfish, though, man. Like, it's because it's.
I'm trying. I mean,
it's for us. It's for everybody. It's
yeah.
You're hoping for the community.
You're hoping that it perpetuates, what's been built here. You know what I mean? So
good to see that fire right lit under somebody's ass, and then see them. For instance, Vlad. Single you out, Vlad, because he got
Vlad.
that bite about a year ago. He started about a year ago, and he's done in a year. I was impressed with what he went after and listened and learned. He's a smart dude, but actually still seeks out that information, and that's what it's all about. Because never stop learning in this game. Because we learn stuff on the daily in game.
You know what I learned?
And that's
yesterday?
that's the thing.
If you collect a sticker book piece in Perfected, it collects a non-perfected too, or in the update. Allegedly.
in the update, I too learned that.
And I was like, oh shit! Like I've read a good
excited.
bit about this update. I don't think I've read the patch notes for the PC. I figured I'd just wait for the Xbox patch notes. But that was not talked about in almost any stream I watched or any YouTube video. I was like, man, that's kind of a big deal, because I have to run shit on normal and just grind it out until I get all the pieces.
Yeah. I mean, there's a point in all of our careers where that's what we do. We run the normal content, but there comes a point in most of our careers, if we play long enough, if you keep going, where you're just not really kind of into that normal content anymore. You want to run that vet content, and then as they release new trials, you might run them once or twice on normal with some groups that have some fun and help out. But those aren't the trials. You may have grinded the normal trials back when you were at that level and have all those stickers, but new trials that come out, do you really want to grind them on vet and on normal when you're at that vet level? Yeah. When you're doing that content,
well, that's just for completionists, right? Because like I have 3 things left in Maelstrom, and they're all just normal, right? My normal Maelstrom stuff. It'll fill out then, right?
Correct.
As soon as the patch hits. Okay.
As long as you log on the character.
Are y'all concerned about filling out your normal stuff? Is that a completionist concern?
I'm not really concerned with it, but who doesn't? I mean, when I
nice to be
on normal trials with people, I don't usually give away my stickers. So that right there tells you that maybe I'm not overly I give away my duplicates, obviously.
Absolutely.
But if I get my non-perfected Yolnacrin ice staff, I gotta I got to keep that if I don't have that sticker. I'm sorry.
Now,
You
he
know,
has
run
a
more
he
runs
has a
with ya,
Yolna
you know, and
perfected ice staff though, because I gave him one. I gave him one.
it was big. That was a big pull. That's a big pull.
And it wasn't like when I right when I started my tank, a year early, I might add, than the date I told
Yeah,
Drew
that's
I would
right.
start it. My tank's way before due. And then I was like, oh, what do I need to get? Okay, da da da. Yolna.
Sports. I play a lot of fantasy baseball, a lot of fantasy football.
Fantasy baseball. That's got to be constant.
That's
It's
time
top
consuming.
tier. That's top tier. Okay,
Yeah, dude,
that's
that's-
that's
You're
the
at the top of
epitome.
your
That's what we
fantasy
work
game
for.
if you play
That's what we
baseball.
work to. I'm in 4 fantasy baseball leagues.
Oh my god!
It's a responsibility. It's
Yeah.
it's a responsibility.
Wow, dude.
But anyways, our Dynasty of Tamriel Fantasy Football League is probably my favorite league out of all my
Well,
leagues.
it's not
I love it.
Dynasty's fantasy football league. We call it the ESO because one
I know.
person is not in dot.
I know, which is fine. Which is
You think he's
beautiful. We love
listening
it.
to this? You think
We love it.
I
You think
doubt
he's
it.
listening right now?
But maybe
And I love
we could
that Brew was so
theoretically
nice
start another
about.
league.
But yeah, I love it. So a little push, a little bump here while we're in the podcast. Have a good time, and you'll see us talking shit to each other and having a good time with it.
Oh, it's
floating
well
around.
known.
And if you're curious about it, fucking reach out. We
You know
have a
what
good time.
I'm curious about Zoo. So tell me about your childhood and game, and you kind of go from there. Your evolution of Zoo as a gamer. I'm really curious, and I know
I
this-
bought my very first console 2 years ago, right before I joined the guild, and I have only played ESO. No, I'm fucking with you. I'll mess with you. That was.
I thought so, but
I jumped right into
a-
this game called
that was a-
ESO. I bought a console and just started playing, and here I am.
what is this controller
So-
thing?
We had a Nintendo when I was a kid. That was my era. All right, so, and we had
What'd you
the
play?
Nintendo staples
What was
right out of the
your-
gate. So
your
it was
favorite
a lot of
stuff?
Mario and Duck Hunt, right? Because we weren't a big gaming family, right? So it was the dual Mario Duck Hunt, and we had and we got after it, and we had a good time. We had some fun. So eventually, when I got a little bit older, I was able to start getting games. Legends of Zelda, the gold cassette was the first game that I fell in love with. The first game that I actually really grinded, and I never beat it. I think I was playing it when I was like 7 to 9 years old. And I never circled back on it in my adult life. It's one of the ones that got away. But so the very first game that I ever beat, that I ever played to completion as a role playing game, was Secret of Evermore.
Oh,
If you're familiar with that game on Super Nintendo, it was the first game. My mom got it for me for Christmas. I did nothing but play that for like a week straight until I beat it. And that game will always have us. I have it on my phone right now. I fucking bought it for like $30 from the App Store. I don't play it often, but it's got a special place in my heart.
Get a
Absolutely.
ROM next time, bro.
I was all well. It's an iPhone, so there's no emulating or ROMs involved, unfortunately.
Really?
Anyways, so yeah, I was always a big role playing game guy. That was me. Final
Trigger?
Fantasies, Super Nintendo, Chrono Trigger. Yeah, that whole era of of Super Nintendo, role playing games. That was
Mario RPG?
That was me. No, I never got into Mario RPG. Never did. And then so I was always the Xbox guy right from the inception. I've never been the PlayStation guy. So my early career was all like the Super Nintendo role playing games. Like we could spend fucking weekends with pizza and fucking Final Fantasy IV. You know what I mean? Just fucking getting it. And then somewhere along the lines, Nintendo 64 came out, and I really fell in love with the first Resident Evil game. And then my gaming took a big time shift from role playing games to survival horror. So I've been a big survival horror fan, actually, up until I got back into ESO, right? And it was sprinkles in. So I was always like, Mass Effect. It's not like it was all just survival horror, but that's definitely my thing. And I think like that's part of the reason why when I play ESO, that's what I want to do. I want to fucking sweat. I want to get scared. I want to, I want to go after those achievements. Like it's always about, to me, it was about hoarding everything, right? Surviving, spending 2 or 3 hours on a boss to finally get him killed, right? To finally beat that part, and then thinking, fuck, I used 2 first aid sprays. I don't think I need to use that second first aid spray. I'm just going to go back to my checkpoint and do it again, right? And then like so spending like it's to me it was about like getting it done as efficiently and quickly as possible, and beating games with a big horde. I don't know why I had to have that horde, but so yeah, I was big into Resident Evil. I think personally my favorite game franchise of all time, which will never be beat in my eyes, is Dead Space. Dead Space to me is my favorite.
Horror. Yeah.
Yeah. Most specifically Dead Space 2. If you're not familiar with that game, the story is enrapturing. It's intense at times. It fucking gets your heart rate up. It's probably not on the level of some of the games nowadays, right? Because that's how things tend to go. Nostalgia makes things. But as a matter of fact, the last game I played, so when the pandemic hit, right, and everything went to shit and everything shut down and we were all quarantining and just staying inside, I started revisiting some old games. One of those old games was Dead Space 2. So I just had replayed it, a couple years back. And then, yeah, right from Dead Space 2, I was like, well, I'm going to get back into ESO. I'm going to see what's going on with that. My wife's been a big ESO player since day one, so she's always played. So after I put down Dead Space 2, I was like, well, maybe, I think it was actually her idea. She was like, why don't you dust off one of your old characters from ESO? You know what, babe, I think I'll do that. And then I found the guild that we all met in through the random guild finder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? You were just browsing the guild?
Just random guild finder. Yep. Nobody posted it in any kind of chat or nothing like that. It wasn't a Facebook thing or nothing like that. I joined and I was like, well, fucking, what am I going to do? Well, let me look at this menu. Join a guild here, and this guild looks pretty active. There's a lot of people in it. Fuck it, I'll join it. And then, boom, it was like, here we are 2 years later. So yeah, role-playing games and survival horror. I've never really been the first-person shooter guy. I did get into a little bit of Modern Warfare for a minute. A bunch of my buddies play, so I don't know which one came out. It was one of the Black Ops, I think, came out.
At that time.
And yeah, they were all, they all took the day off work and like they went to Walmart at, 3:00 in the morning or whatever. So I went with them, we all got in line. So for about 6 months of my life, I did fall into, and I think it was Black Ops 3, I think. But yeah, I fell into it, got my kill death up to like a respectable like 1.2 and was like happy about that. You know what I mean? That was like a big achievement for me because it was atrocious early on. It was bad. It was fucking
anything over 1. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm positive.
It was a big move when I got over 1 and I got up to like 1.2. Like it's just not really my thing. It doesn't have much staying power. I can't really do that. A little bit of sports games. I'm a big sports fan. I'm a sucker for a franchise mode in a baseball game. Let me try to manipulate the system and bring in every great player that's currently playing the game. And but again, same thing with first-person shooters. It just doesn't really have a whole lot of staying power to me. I might get, the NHL 2022 Chell, right? I might get the new Chell and then play it for 3 months, and that's going to be it. Yeah. So
play a season or whatever. The whatever they call their Superstar League or.
Is this your first MMO?
It is. It is. I never played WoW. I played a little bit of free RuneScape.
Yeah,
but not much though. Not much. I didn't really, and I never really got much into the social aspect of it. So it's not like an overwhelming factor in my life. But I didn't used to, and I still don't. I don't think do well with like online like digital interactions. I'm a talking ass motherfucker, and in like face to face I've always done well with that, and like my parents call me a social butterfly, and like I can whatever, I can meet people, I can jive, I can have a good time, but for some reason this medium was always just kind of awkward to me. So when I did play RuneScape, I didn't really explore the social side of it. When I first joined the guild where I met everybody, even then, I was a big lurker in the beginning. I remember having nights sitting here playing the game, doing whatever I was doing, and having guild chat open and just fucking laughing at the things Darkside was saying, at the things that one of the other players that was a big cornerstone in it, just having a great time, just giggling hard. And so like eventually, you show up a little bit, you kind of test the waters, and now you can't get me to shut up. I still do a lot of lurking. To be fair, sometimes I'm just not really up to it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm just kind of chilling, but yeah. So early on, I kind of had an issue with a little bit of social anxiety in this this
normal.
setting.
So even for somebody that's an extrovert like you, like that's normal because I faced it too, especially like when I first started playing this in like 2017 and I wasn't part of a guild and I wanted to do content like and I go into like a rando normal or vet or whatever it was and the talking aspect I would have anxiety about that sometimes or like because I didn't know anything and then I didn't want to come off as being
knowing a lot, knowing about the game and having confidence in what you're doing is, I mean, that really is an important part of fun. Yeah. But early on when you don't really know and you're just trying to learn and absorb and I was more comfortable anyways, not being super, super vocal about it, which is kind of a shame because there's a lot of people and it's always been like this starting back with that guild that we all joined together. Like that's kind of, I still kind of have those same tenets and have kind of adapted that, but it's always been about like helping people and being friendly and social. And that's really always been the, what has been built on the foundation. So yeah, had I been a little more vocal at the time, it would have probably sped up the learning process because somebody been like, yeah, man, come under my wing. Let's go here and check this out. And I'll show you what to do. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, I was, because of that little bit of a barrier there, I ended up just kind of learning at my pace. I did a lot of pugging early on. Lots of pugging early on. As a tank, I did lots of pugging.
You still do.
I love to do it. I love the vet roulette from time to time. As a matter of fact, one of the red pedal hard modes that I had gotten done throughout the week. So again, I'm progging it with the dang dangs, right? And we were kind of struggling in it last week. And I went in there with people from the guild and we worked out some strategies, blah, blah, blah. But then, as I do sometimes, I just did a random vet dungeon one day on one of my tanks. Bam, red pedal. Oh no, I was on my DD. At the time. Okay. Bam, red pedal bastion. And I was like, oh, cool, motifs, let's get it. Yeah. And it ended up being a pretty solid group. Everybody knew what was going on. And right before we even got started, somebody said in group chat, hey, hard modes, guys. And we were like, fuck it, let's fucking get it. So we did the side bosses with that pug group, got the hard mode done. But yeah, I'm a slut for some vet pugs for sure. It's always been kind of a cornerstone for me. It's a great way to learn tanking. I mean, you hold back some groups, and I will not lie to you. I've been kicked from groups before. Not recently in a long time, but I had been kicked from groups before. I pugged a veteran Bloodroot Forge that some people may have heard me talk about. That was a difficult dungeon for me early on. I did not know what I was doing. Did not watch videos.
Dungeon. That's tank intensive.
It's not really too bad once you know what you're doing. Right. There's responsibilities that you have, and if you don't know those responsibilities,
stand on the lava.
Fuck shit up. You're gonna fucking wreck shit. So yeah, I got kicked from a Bloodroot Forge group, a vet pug as a tank Bloodroot Forge group, and it was demoralizing. But it fucking made me watch a video, and I'll tell you right now, it's fucking my fault. I wasted those guys' time. And now that I've been after it for so long, I won't say I get irritated because it takes a lot to irritate me. I'm pretty chill for the most part. But if I'm in a pug, like for instance, if I was to join a pug now and we got that Bloodroot Forge and I was a DD and we got a tank that clearly did not know what the hell he was doing, maybe you haven't been in here even on normal, like you're running around like a madman, kind of like I was that day. I would be a little perturbed about that. Like it taught me a lesson. I was that guy then that didn't watch the video and wasn't prepared. And you're playing with other people and their time is important too. So you should be prepared so that you're not, wasting everybody's time. Like, why are you here right now? Right. But yeah, I was that guy. It was tragic.
Do you remember the first thing I ever said to you? I don't know if it's the first thing I ever said. Common ground.
I don't know what you look like, and I don't know who you are, but based on just your name alone, I'm madly in love with you. Is that what it was?
I mean,
I think that's what you said to me. Like that. But no, I don't.
It was something about. I think I saw you were in a band, so I was like, "Zoo in Discord, you're in a band, cool." That's the common things we try to find with somebody, make a connection or whatever.
I remember the early stages of our friendship. I think had a lot to do with that music channel. I think we tagged each other in a couple of songs. Yeah, as soon as we found out that we had like a similar interest there. Yeah, so I do recall that.
Dude, check this song out. Or here's one I was listening to today.
I just love because it was in the midst of COVID, and I, being somebody that played live music for so many years, that was interesting to me because I'm no longer in the game like that. So when he was like, having to plan around that, and I was like, man, I could, I can empathize a little bit, like, because when you're playing, it's the greatest thing in the world, and if something halts that for an artist, for a musician, that's tough, man, because that's So much
Unpopular opinion here, actually. Unpopular opinion time. At the time that COVID happened, I was playing a lot of gigs. I tend to stretch myself a little too thin. That's always been me. I can take on a little more. I can take on a little more until all of a sudden I find myself not having enough time for some of the priorities in my life that I need to have time for.
Yeah.
And with music, it's been no different. And I'm a drummer, which tend to be in high demand. So I can find work. I can find work if I'm looking for work. So yeah, when COVID happened, I was jamming with 3 bands. I was playing a lot of gigs. I was busy. I've got to work every morning. You know what I mean? So like, I had a lot going on in my life, and it was kind of a little bit of a blessing in disguise. I was able to take a step back. I lost a project at COVID that I wish I hadn't lost. A project that I was really excited about. Prog metal instrumental band. We were writing an album that told a story with no vocals. It was all interpretive through the music. We were super fucking dorks about it. So it was about an alien who explored the universe, explored the galaxy as an interstellar cartographer. That was his job, was to go and chart galaxies. And our first EP was entitled The Cartographer. We had it fully written. We were in the process of recording it. It was 4 tracks, but the tracks were broken down into pieces because it was all like super prog, right? Like prog metal. So the story follows Marlo Estessen on his journey through space and time. And he eventually he stumbles across a signal that pulls him into a wormhole that takes him to a different dimension within his own time. Within his own timeline, a different dimension where he meets another version of himself from the future that's already gone through everything he's gone through. Like it was super prog, right? And the summation of our first EP is the meeting between old Marlo and new Marlo. That was the last song led up to this like intense like meeting between the two of them. And the next album, our first full length, was going to follow old Marlo, the Marlo that you meet at the end of that story, what he was doing during that very same time that new Marlo was on his journey in the Cartographer of the EP. So it's going to go through
with no vocals.
With no vocals, yeah. Well, So we did envision sometimes where we would bring in like different like guests, to do maybe some vocal parts, right? So on a whole album, there might be like 3 sections in 3 various parts of the album where we have some vocals, and maybe one of those sections is like a choir, right? And like big like chorus and echo and like super full and like, so like not like a vocalist. But if there was certain like specific things that we needed to express, that we needed like, and don't get me wrong, we like the whole thing was interpretive. No one's gonna fucking know the story unless we tell them the story. You know what I mean? But yeah, maybe have some vocals here and there. And we were actually working with an illustrator. We were gonna put a visual to it and release our EP, which was 30 minutes long. We were gonna release it with a 30-minute long short that followed. So as it's interpretive, like it's going along. So like, when back in the day, Looney Tunes commercials, like the music's going along with it and it gets intense when the cartoon's intense, like lull when it lulls, stuff like that. Yeah, we were fucking, just fucking smoking a bunch of weed and writing music with your friends. This is the shit that happens. This is the shit that happens.
Pink Floyd did that, and
that's
fucking. See how they, so
I lost that band at the pandemic, and we're super fucked. We played a couple of gigs, like we had all this music written, and we played the music as the story was written. So we weren't breaking up like this song, then this song. Like we played it just like it was written on the EP. It was like a 30-minute piece that we had a lot of fun with that band. We're still in the group chat from time to time. Somebody would be like, I miss you guys. Like we talk for a second, and then, the pandemic shut that one down, unfortunately.
Pandemic shut a lot down, but you're right. It did give us time to kind of reevaluate.
It did.
Hey, I was really stressed running around all the time, and here now I have all this time. What do I do?
It brought us all together.
Yeah.
Brought us all together. Sure did.
Brought the fam together. Probably brought a lot of people together.
But you're right. It took me a minute to adjust to the medium of like talking only through online to people. Because not that I'm super social, but I can make friends in public if I need to. If I'm at a bar,
now you're doing a podcast.
Talk to people. Yeah,
for your guild.
I've gotten much more comfortable with it. But switching to COVID, I don't know who any of these people are. Just internet strangers for the most part. and being able to have the chat etiquette, not understand what's happening in both the guild social setting while also the game. Because I didn't know much about the game. I probably said it before, but I didn't pug for the most part. I soloed the very first part of my ESO career. And then the pandemic hit. I came back to it because I was like, well, I'll just, finish all the questing. I stopped somewhere within Daggerfall Covenant and got bored of just like questing through these MMO zones. And that's when I found the guild, was because I was looking for dungeons. I was like, well, I've finished Caldwell's Gold, not knowing that's what it was called at the time. I was like, well, I guess I did all the questing. Now what? And I was like, well, there's these dungeons, but I don't really know what they're about. And it says 4 people.
So how long did you play solo to complete all that content before you really kind of started to explore?
I was around CP 600 at the time, back when 810 was the cap.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, maybe a little under 550. That's when I really found people and played with people regularly. That's when I found the old guild. And it was actually Jerry in a dungeon. I was in Arx Corinium.
Yeah.
Never run it before.
Jerry was your gateway? Jerry
brought me in.
Love it. Shout out to Jerry. Shame, you motherfucker. Shame on you for being so bad at fantasy football. How dare you?
Come in last in our fantasy league.
How dare you be as bad as you are? Oh my gosh.
Props to Jerry.
Oh my gosh. Everybody should be disappointed in Jerry.
We love you, Jerry.
We love you, Jerry.
But shame on you for sucking so much. So bad.
That's cool though. He was your gateway. That's cool.
Yeah, and so he was already an established member within the guild, because the guild we joined was actually formed from a pre-existing guild. It's a cyclical thing, these guilds.
It's
for the most part.
That's how it tends to go.
It's
not easy to keep a guild healthy like our dear guild Papa does here. I don't know if you get enough credit for it, but you do a great job. I know, but you've kept it healthy. You've got us in a good spot right now. You've really helped us grow a lot, and your dedication. You run a ton of events every week to keep things fresh and moving. I really appreciate you, but I know I say it sometimes, but I want to publicly say it. I love you for what you do, buddy.
It does take a good amount of work, but having Jerry back in the old guild bring me into the social kind of brought me out sooner, I'd imagine. I only lurked for a week or two before I was really especially in the evenings, I was in chat. And I'll be in chat. That's fine. Just making my little quips that I like to do. I didn't dominate chat or anything, but I like to throw in a comment or two. You see me do it during trials, especially. I'll stay muted for the most part these days. But if I need to, I'll throw in a little comment just to get a chuckle out of people and maybe break some tension if it needs.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jerry, shout out to Jerry. I can't thank him enough for what he's done. And we've had a great gaming relationship. I mean, I wouldn't have met you guys. There's so many people that now mean so much. And that's what drives me in the guild. It's keeping this community alive is very important to me.
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Social aspect.
I love ESO. I love the game, but there's no way I'm going to play ESO for as long as I've played if it isn't for the people that I play with. Yeah. I would have burnt out on this game a long time ago and moved on to another game.
Absolutely.
It's a family that we built here, and I look forward to what's going on in your personal lives. I look forward to finding out about big events, and it really is about. It's become obviously more about the social than the game. And it's not to take anything away from the game. I think ZOS is a great product, right? There's things that we'd all like to see better, obviously, but I really truly enjoy the game. But with that said, I wouldn't be able to play as long as I have if it wasn't for you fine people and all you people at home.
Yeah, a lot of the listeners are also aware. If you're not, you should join. The link will be in the description below. But the Dynasty of Tamriel, as we've said many times, always
whoop, whoop.
Looking for new social members.
Whoop, whoop.
Good group of people, helpful people, and active people, which is great.
Man.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to do it. Tonight's going to be a lot of fun. So we're recording this on a Saturday, right? We got a couple guild trials tonight that are going to be
a lot of activity.
Lot of fun.
A lot of activity. I'm loving that the activity has always been high, but I'm loving that people are engaging, the Discord bot to coordinate events more often. I'm loving that.
Yeah.
I'm liking that if at any time you can just jump into the Discord app, scroll through and look for what kind of activities are going on. And, I'm free at this time. There's a run coming up in 3 days at 7:00 at night. I'm free. I'm going to sign up for that. I like that there's a lot of fresh activity that people can just kind of scroll through. Ooh, I need gear from that place. I'm going there. Like it's cool that I'm really liking that people are stepping up and doing that. Keep that shit up.
Tutorial. Thank you for that tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
sure.
I know that was
idea.
probably
It can be a little wonky. It can.
inhibiting like that really.
But Papa explained it all very well. It's all pinned in Looking for Group. If you're curious about that, the Looking for Group channel in our Discord, just check the pins. And there's a nice little tutorial there.
Making it like an FAQ channel, because I worry how frequented are pins. Like that's something that's just from lack of experience on my end. I'm not super active in a lot of Discords. I'm in a lot of Discords, but I'm not active. So like, how frequent are informational things pinned instead of put somewhere else? So I thought, hey, a FAQ. I've thought about it for a while, but more and more questions come up that I pin something is my solution, and I'm like, well, do new people to Discord, would they know that? You're still gonna have to say, hey, check the pins every time.
Yeah, well,
someone asks.
I wish the pins in Discord would act like sometimes regular pins. At least they don't on the mobile app. Like just appear always at the top of the screen, no matter what. Like at least at first, like because that would force you to see the pin.
It would, yeah.
In threads,
Yeah.
like how it goes, and I
Instead of needing to be directed to it, which is
right, because most people don't know to swipe right and look at pins or whatever, or however it is on whichever template
swipe right
we're
and
using.
look at pins.
But usually, a pin and a thread is always just at the top of the screen, even if you're scrolling and like pin it there or something similar to that.
I love that you're looking up as you say
I'm
the top
very
of the screen, like you're
like that,
envisioning
The visuals here. We're
Yeah.
gonna walk through this together. All right. So you see
Left
here,
and
you're gonna want to swipe right.
I'm swiping down.
But yeah, it's the Discord has blown
What a
up
tool.
the past couple weeks.
Discord's
The
one
bot-
of the reasons I joined the old guild, because I was real into Discord at that
Yeah.
time, and I was like, "This is okay." They're on it. They're not with this band bullshit. Band is bullshit.
Yeah, fuck band.
Our podcast is sponsored here today by Band is Bullshit. That's our number one sponsor tonight. But I think Discord also kind of helps, I think, especially like for someone like me that wasn't really super into the social aspect at first, through the digital media or medium. Discord really helped me get to know a lot of people kind of earlier before I kind of started talking more, before I got a little more vocal. So yeah, it's just kind of a way you can kind of ease into it in that way too. But yeah, Discord, it's a great tool. It really is, for coordinating, for socializing. It's a great tool. Information.
Stupid gifs.
Stupid gifs.
Stupid emojis.
I'm here for the gifs.
I love the gifs.
Did you see Rafi put a funny event announcement up? I encourage you both to go look at it. But
I just saw it actually.
the scheduling is the most important thing for me. Being able to schedule my time, because it's become so kind of hectic in this role I fill. Scheduling has been a blessing on Discord. It helps me keep things more organized. But if I can ask one thing of Discord, allow the new events that I can set in the server to be reoccurring. So like, I would put all of our weekly events in as reoccurring events, so that Discord like brings it to your attention that, hey, this server has an event going on right now. But I'd have to enter them every single week. I can't set it to say, hey, every Monday at 7:30. I guess it's not 7:30, 10:30 my time, I'm running a dragon hunt.
You can't.
No, there's no reoccurring option, and that seems so idiotic to me. Please just add that, Discord.
There is a reoccurring option in the event scheduler itself
Within the bot.
but yeah, but the
yeah.
event that you run is obviously it's like an all-inclusive open up, just come on at this time, come out. And so
Is there a bot
that-
to schedule your thing each week? that you can make.
We can I
That
could
would-
absolutely use the scheduling
You could maybe
bot if I want to.
maybe manipulate that bot
For the
to trigger
announcements.
once a week. That would just
But-
kind of
that's what I was thinking. Something that like we could trigger that for you, or
But
like,
still, that'd be a
That's
workaround.
like so
that
much
would be
more
kind of
work
wonky.
for the workaround.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to like
well, if it's one time though, just saying,
And,
until
like-
Discord gets their shit together. Discord,
Figure it out. Band sucks. Proudly brought to you by Band Sucks.
Discord
Figure
is
it
the
out.
new Discord is the new band. Fucking
I hope it never turns into like a bunch of threads, and threads are useful. I
they
like
didn't
they
sell
edit
out
threads.
to Microsoft. They
But
didn't sell out to Microsoft.
I like
so
the more chat focused and not just like post thread focused. Band is just like, here's a picture or a question, and like let's have a conversation about it underneath. Boo!
might as well use Grinder, right?
Proudly brought to you by Band Sucks.
But Zoo, I want to ask you, how did the tanking class go? So listeners
It
at
went.
home,
It went tremendous.
Professor.
It went tremendous. It was. We had a lot of people there. We didn't have as many as I would have liked, but that was my fault. I kind of said it at a time that didn't really work with a lot of people. Next, I'm gonna keep that in mind. We're gonna swerve, and we're gonna do the next one at a time that I think will be a little bit more beneficial to everybody, so we can kind of get more members, more people showing up. But it was great. It was great. I didn't really have a whole lot of time last night. I intended for the class to be about an hour long. It ended up being almost 2 hours. We got through a lot yesterday. We had to gloss over a lot. Fuck, I could talk about tanking for fucking 3 days if you let me just talk about it. We could just talk forever. So we're going to allot some more time for it next time. We're going to set it up a little bit later, but we're going to keep it going. There's a lot of interest right now. There's a lot of things that I was taught by a lot of really great people early on that I just want to pass on. Right, that's what it is. It's two things that come together and make you what you are. It's experience, and it's what you've learned from other people. Take what you've learned from other people, and then you get experience, and then you become what you are. Right. So we're just trying to perpetuate that. So yeah. Most of the stuff that we go over is stuff that was taught to me by integral members of the guild, which I fucking appreciate. But it was great. We had a good time. We had some laughs. We got to a lot. People took a lot of notes.
Hey, there we go. That's what
I
we like
popped
to
in
see.
and took notes. I popped in and was like, let me get some.
I absolutely suggested. So I've run a couple of these in the past. It's not the first time I've done this. I've got somewhat of a syllabus that we go over. So it's as structured as a pothead metalhead kid can structure something. But we try to keep it focused so we can get as much as we can in. So because of that, I know that some things are just going to be rapid fire. Bow, bow, bow. We can't really expound on everything because, I already expound on too much as it is. I get a little long-winded. So Vlad hit me up. Vlad, I'm calling you out. Vlad hit me up, and we're going over some ideas, which was great. He hit me up. We talked about some stuff to kind of increase the class. Help the class with more. Get into the learning. And he was like, maybe next time we just kind of talk about the sets, like we just go over them quickly and move on. I was like, yeah, buddy, I can be a little long-winded. Yeah, that's a good idea. So, but yeah, I tell people early on. Grab a pencil, piece of paper, because some things we're just going to be firing from, and a lot's just going to be kind of not there at the end of this class. So write down some notes on some things that stand out to you, so you can circle back on them later. And it's cute to hear all the crinkling papers in the background. All right, now let's talk about this. And it's like crinkle, 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 crinkle.
Yeah, turn the page. Shit, hang on.
All right, we're doing work here tonight, fellas. We're doing work. But yeah, no, it was a great time. We're going to keep it up. As much as I can. It's obviously not going to be a weekly thing, right? But as much as I can, we'll keep it up. As if there's interest there. I'm getting a lot of help from people, which is great, which will help out. So maybe if I can't do it, somebody else will, take step up. So yeah, it's a really great idea, I think, especially for a guild of our nature, where like we like to help people. We like to bring people in, be social, have fun, run content with people, just get to know people. It's I think it's a great way to try to keep the content and whatnot filled with activities and bodies, is to give people the means to feel confident in what they do. Because that's when you're.
You see that picture? That's what Snacky was doing during your tank meeting when she was taking notes. And she was messaging me going, pick a color. Can you throw that in brew in the final cut? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Sorry, Snacky. Throwing you under the bus. And all of them were just like, when I got to the end, it was like, Dark Side sucks. Or you owe Snacky 100k gold. I was like, you could just ask me for a loan. You don't have to come up with some
Bullshit
scheme.
way to get gold out of my pocket.
Get money. No, I really, literally, I dropped in and was like, you were, those little details, man, are what make it, and you're full of those. And those little hints to supplement, the information I, do and do not have, or whoever. They're so helpful.
When I'm trying to come up with the things that we could talk about and the things that I really like, I really try to base the conversations around things, little things that I've done that'll actually help, right? Because we all know about most of the things, right? Like there's like this common set of skills that you're just going to assume that you're going to need as a tank, right? You need to be able to take damage, you need to be able to block, but I've definitely found it to be more helpful to talk about like, hey, this is how I approach this specific situation in this way that you'll come across a whole lot, a lot. So yeah, I try to fill the curriculum, so to speak, with things that are actual helpful in-game things that I think will help. I try to give people the foundation to grow confidence. You grow confidence by feeling like you're doing a good job. If I can do a couple of little things, then I'm like, I never really considered that. And then that's just the difference. And now all of a sudden, like things are just going smooth.
It's gratifying.
Yeah.
I love the structure. I'm a sucker
I
for
try to use like not just like textbook, I mean, that knowledge is important too. Like what sets you're going to need to join a core and stuff like that. But like more like applicable, critical usage stuff.
Do you consider yourself a doctor of tankology?
Absolutely not. I consider myself a student of tankology. I learn from people all the time. I'm always continuing to grow. I'm super lucky that I run with the people that I run with. I run with a lot of really savvy players, a lot of players that can make the whole group kind of look good. And that really helps out a lot. That helped me learn. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody. I was struggling in Red Pedal. The reason we weren't getting it done is because of me. The team, they were, we stayed confident. They kept informing me of the things that we needed to get on until I found my rhythm. I found my path. I found my stride. And we started getting it. And then it started to kind of flow. And then it started to groove. And then we were jiving. And then we were moving. And then we were getting clear. It's bang, bang, boom. It was sexy. But yeah, I'm always going to be a student of it. I'm better now than I was yesterday. But yeah, I rely a lot on the people, on the friends that I've met. And they really help me out a lot. I fucking messaged Callie. Be like, Callie, bro, we're struggling in this. I need some guidance. I don't know what I'm doing. How should I approach this? Hey, man, check it out. Do it like this. This is how we do it. Bing, bang, boom.
Thank you, Callie.
Yeah.
We actually in our core group, people know me as Raid Daddy, and that's great. That's great. And I think that what I do with our raid is more of a leadership role than anything, but. We have a group of 4 of us in the core, and Brew's a part of it, and we throw all of our ideas off each other there. That's how we coordinate strategy. So it's not like I'm this guy that comes in and I'm just with all this knowledge just dropping this shit out. Bam, you're doing this is going on here. No, we'll go into some place that we're new at, we'll check it out, and then we'll confer in our chat there. All right, guys, this is what we saw. What are we doing? How we beating this stuff? This specific mechanic was fucking with us. And so my role pretty much just comes down to like a coordinator on the night of raid. That's how I've gotten my name, Raid Daddy, because I group us. I do a lot of talking. I do a lot of the leading actually there. But all of our direction and all of our strategy and skill comes from a group of us. And I take that same approach to tanking as well. I just think it's such a limit to think that you're that guy that's just always the smartest in the room. I have some good ideas. I have some good ideas that I end up utilizing, but I have some ideas that I end up utilizing, others over my ideas as well. Probably more often than I use my own ideas.
Those leadership skills come important during raid time as well. You're the one making the call outs, and like everyone else, we don't need to be talking. It's such an issue in some core groups is with everybody wanting to help. That's great that your core group all wants to progress together and help and come up with ideas, but not during the fight. And Zoo keeps it very calm, cool. Hey, we're going through mechs, handling things as they come. That keeps the DPS kind of on point. I will note that this last week in core, Wolf was helping in terms of targeting DPS, and I think that's why we also were so much more coordinated. Hey,
Yeah,
Films is coming
absolutely.
in. It's time to focus Films.
It
And like
really
that's all he
helped
had to
having
say.
somebody that he had a little bit of experience in there, and we've got some people in core that has some experience in there, but it's different perspectives, right? And he had a different perspective, and he brought that insight to the group, and we listened, and we got, we kind of started focusing on different things as they would occur, and we learned a lot from Wolf, and we'll take that with us. If you're listening to Wolf, I love you, buddy. We appreciate the help. Super smart guy, super friendly guy, super busy guy, so not always able to help, but if you have questions, fucking ask him. Wolf, I just put you up to it. But yeah, he came in and we learned from that. So, I mean, the theme of the last 5 minutes is fucking learn from people, ask questions.
Always
even
learning.
the people that you might look up to, rely on other people. We're all leaning on somebody.
Seek out the knowledge, because the knowledge in this game is half of it, and the other half's just executing. So you're already, knowing is half the battle. Bullshit. It's true, because you prepare, and and people appreciate it, even if it's not spoken, but they appreciate when you come in and know, at least if you haven't even done it yet, if you know what to expect and know what the mechs are and blah blah blah. There's plenty of resources out there. Zynode videos has every dungeon in the damn game and explains it thoroughly.
I do really enjoy Zynode's guides. I
well,
like
he
the
just
way
gets
he
down
explains
to it.
things.
Yeah, he gets down to it. He doesn't say a lot of shit. He'll be like, "That'll kill you. Don't stand next to that." That
That works.
How do you make it more simple? You don't need to know this guy's gonna cleave at this point. That's good to know that kind of stuff and get real more in depth in it. But just knowing kind of what's going on in the battle. People, when we were doing Mob, Lorcaj, the twins, watching the video and knowing what to expect before you go in there, and not just because if you go into that fight, people can explain it to you. You're not going to get it first time. You've got to either see it.
I've heard it explained so many different ways, like people trying to explain what's happening, and you know that either A, it's going to go too long. You've been talking about this fight for the past 3 minutes
People
as we're standing at the door.
out.
Yeah. We're losing info. Or B, it's such a unique mechanic. No matter how you try and explain it, if it's 30 seconds or less, people are gonna die.
But seeing it, going watching a video, and seeing it just a few times, it's like, okay, I got the pattern down. Like,
if you're just casually playing anything, and we touched on this a little bit ago, if you're just if you're pugging for a dungeon, you should at least be moderately prepared, because you have 3 other people in that 4-man group that are spending their time on that as well, and everybody's time is valuable. It's even more so when you are in a coordinated responsibility. You have every week at this time, I'm with this group, we're in a chat where we know, it's even more important for you to take some of your personal time, do some of your research. Your raid lead is probably going to be posting information that you can refer to. But if you don't do that, and then you get there to the night of, you have to assume that half of the people at least have watched the videos and are prepared. Now, you've just wasted their personal time, and now you're here at core, and it's not going to go as smoothly as it would had you been prepared. Now we're going to waste this time. You have to come back into here next week. When you agree to that kind of thing, sometimes people don't consider the fact that other people's time is valuable too. And I know that we're all busy. I get that, but that should be factored into your decision to join a group like that. It's part of your responsibility. Your raid lead's going to lead you, but it's your responsibility to be prepared and utilize what's at our disposal. So yeah, don't be that guy, please. When you start anybody out there listening, when you start to get to that level, and you start to join cores and whatnot, just remember that you're part of a team. It's a responsibility on everybody, and you're all there for a specific reason. You're there because you've chosen to.
You should want to, because nobody likes that feeling of being there and going, "Oh, I'm the one that doesn't know what's going on." That's very awful feeling.
No one wants to be the floor lord, And
if you don't feel like that, there's a problem. Then you're not putting in the care. You need to care more.
Well, that's not generally an issue. I think most people just kind of understand that, but it does seem like in most groups there's 1 or 2. It seems like usually. So it's a small percentage, but the percentage exists. It does.
And that's a big percentage in those situations.
In that, yeah, absolutely. When I'm there and we're fucking 90 minutes in and we're not even halfway done with this, we got a half hour tonight, and it's feeling like, well, tonight was just kind of a wash. I guess we'll start over again next week. Yeah. It's a big percentage at that point.
But we're pretty good about it, our group, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, we're very lucky. I mean, we've been a core for a while now. We've not many, but we've gone through a couple of individuals. We've kind of shifted until we've settled. We've stayed diligent with it. We've
Yeah.
You know, we've gotten to a place now where we've kind of cycled out anything that may have been, you know, of that nature until now we're in a good, happy place. We're all intent on the mission. You know, we're all there for a reason. Everybody takes the direction very great, which I fucking appreciate.
Yeah. That's important. Open. Yeah.
Staying
receptive.
staying positive when you're smashing your head against the wall over and over again. That's super fucking important.
You know, we were in VMall for how long? 2 months? 2.5 months? Something like that?
A lot of people just see like what we post in the verifications, right? A lot of people that like aren't part of it, they see the sexy side of it. But let me tell you, it's not all sexy. It's not all fucking tags and verification posts.
Yeah.
There's a lot of struggle that comes in it together. Yeah.
All of those
Yep. That VMall clear though, that Drum Author Destroyer was our first like actual hard mode after we cleared all the content. We got through everything. That was our first like actual like, okay, now let's go get some hard modes. Let's go get some titles. Let's go do some of that real sweaty trial stuff.
Got
and
to
so
the
yeah,
point
that was
we could run VSS, VK, like we could run the vet trial. No,
yeah.
we'd be fine.
Everything
like,
was.
We could go get gear if we wanted, but let's start getting back after it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was
BSO,
a pretty
baby.
big one for us.
BSO no diff. Here we come. Is that a thing?
Let's go ahead and just go do Godslayer next. I mean, this Vast 2 is gonna be done next week, right?
Sign us up. It'll be a vote, obviously, like it always is. But I'm really ending up. I'm really hoping we end up in VSS hard mode. I'm really hoping we end up that extinguisher of flames.
That is.
I'm really hoping we go after that one next.
I
But
think
again,
we
it'll
do
be a
it
vote.
very well.
It'll be a
That
vote.
ice fight's just mechanic.
Yep.
You know, it just adds that extra ice cage, and it adds.
We're slapping right now. I'm not worried about the fire.
Yeah, fire is.
We're slapping right now. We got damage. I'm ready.
Hey, you know, we got to pull the 2 Atros under the dragon, and then the 2 Atros away from the dragon. Either way,
Time to parse again.
Yeah, parsing time is coming up. Patch is dropping. We're gonna have to update gear, as we mentioned at the top of the episode. I mean, what an exciting time in ESO. I love this time of year.
Me too.
Spring, when the new dungeons drop, they gave us a free event that like is gonna boost a lot. And you know, some people get all salty. Maybe it's an apology event because they've been having issues in PvP and other stuff. Yeah, who cares? I'm gonna give me the gift. Thank you, thank you for that wonderful gift to me. And yeah, we get to have some fun with new dungeons soon, and absolutely brand new content. And that's exciting. That night of when stuff drops and you hear a bunch of people in chat, you look through the guild roster and everyone's in the new shit right now. You're like, yeah, like this, it's an exciting night in an MMO world when new content drops.
And the anticipation leading up to it, right? Like we'll talk about it like, all right, cool. We'll get home from work. Maybe it'll be an unscheduled day, right? Like on a Wednesday night or something. Ooh, let's fucking dungeons drop. Let's get after it.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time. It's a fun time for sure.
Everybody's in it too, like you're saying. It's all everybody's. You have instant camaraderie with, you know, everyone on the server because you're all kind of excited and in that same mindset.
A lot of stories come out of that night too. Generally, you know, the day that stuff drops.
It's gonna
be a running the first time this with so and so, and we, you know, you tell that story a lot.
The podcast is going to be great. The week after,
It's
gonna be a lot of fun. We're going to be going over probably a lot of stuff.
And then the one in June. Ooh, that'll be wild.
Brew, the poll for what we should play. When are we running that to?
I figured by next weekend. So what is that? The 26th? Yeah. We'll see what's in the lead. So guys, there is a Discord channel. I corrected the permissions, so you can in fact actually see the channel now.
Only Brew and I had voted, and I was like, "Wow, we're really not getting."
Wick voted as well, and I was like, "Okay, only Wick out of all the listeners, only Wick came and voted, really?" And then so we were talking about it in guild chat, and someone's like, "Yeah, I don't see that." Oh, it's Crispy. It's like, "Yeah, I don't see that channel." I was like, "What do you mean I don't see?" Oh, the permissions are still fucked up. So you can see it now. So please go vote. It's under the guild category. You will see the TheBrueCru podcast channel. We'll be posting in there. I have notifications on so when the new episode drops, it'll show up there.
Roll up or look for the pins. It's under.
Yeah, it's under the pins, or you can scroll to the top. There's not a lot of conversation. Just fucking Gerb, who kind of talks on whatever channel he wants.
And then gets me 6 to get involved.
Yeah. But yeah, I encourage you guys. We're looking to play a game. Zoo, do you play any games outside of ESO? Do you mix in any in rotation that you're take a break with?
I've much like how I actually game, I approach gaming from a min-max scenario, and I'm highly interested in Elden Ring. It's it's what I get after. I love games that are difficult. It's not necessarily a survival horror, obviously, but it's in the same like single player story, super fucking difficult. And so I'm highly interested, and I absolutely will be playing it. But I fear that if I do that, I will disappear from ESO, and I'm super ingrained with the fam. I just love getting after it with the fam. So I don't really dabble too much outside currently.
Okay.
Man of conviction.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that.
Ain't no one got no time for that.
Now when there's achievements still to get, count-wide achievements coming out, I need to 100% or get as close as I damn can.
I've been knocking off last couple of weeks, just achievements here and there. Like I was saying, like just,
I'm a little bit bummed about account-wide achievements because I like to see which achievements I have on my dudes. I like to I still have to get that achievement on my warden tank.
You'll still be able to know.
Yeah,
has that been confirmed? I know I saw
play on
some
PC.
things early on.
I play through Stadia. I have an account that I use back when I first beta tested ESO. It's got the little monkey pet. I have one of the little monkey pets on the PCNA server, which is kind of cool. But like I have a shitty PC that can't really truly handle ESO. So I play on the Stadia every now and again. But I was checking, and it names the character that got the achievement. And now I only have the one character on that server, but I would imagine it's going to list every character name that's gotten that achievement on it. It'll be unlocked through one character.
I like the idea. I like the thought. And
so it says Brewblade at the bottom of it because that was the character that got the achievement.
The whole idea, as far as I understand it, is to help reduce some strain on the servers, to help reduce memory that they have to use, right? So if they just make it account wide, they don't have to make it specific, right? And they'll be able to minimize a bunch of the extra stress.
Layers
and there's a couple of things that they're doing, not just the achievements to do that, right? So the whole idea is that they just want the game to run smoother. They're listening to people. They understand that things are kind of fucked up in certain areas, in certain aspects sometimes.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to do that. I super get that. And I was never really against it, but I do play multiple characters, right? And now I'm into a DD, and I want to know like which ones I've gotten. Like when it goes account wide, I'm going to have a lot of achievements. I mean, there's some that I haven't gotten on anything. Obviously, there's a good amount actually, but I do run a lot of different content with a lot of different people all the time. So once I've got something, say with the Dang Dangs, right? And now we're going to just go into some bone callers with some other people that haven't gotten it, right? I'm going to want to go to somebody else that hasn't gotten that achievement so I can see it from that aspect. So I'm glad that we'll be able to differentiate. That was important to me.
Understandable.
That was important to me.
I don't think the titles, however, will like have an asterisk or anything like so. Like as you're scrolling the character titles, they'll all just be there. I watched a couple people who put like former emps or empresses on their baby tunes. So like as long as you log in, all of that will be there. So you can't really tell by looking at the
as long as I can tell in some capacity, I'm not too concerned. But yeah, as long as there's some kind of achievements list that's got some kind of
so verifications
differentiating
won't be as difficult as people feared, especially in those end game trial communities that say
people will figure it out. That's what people do. I was never concerned about that.
Okay,
people will figure it out. That's what people do.
Achievements still pop up on the screen. I'll miss that little dopamine hit.
That will be less.
I've gotten the same achievement on multiple different tunes. I know exactly how that feels. Like, yeah, I've already gotten this, but fuck yeah, dude, hell yeah.
Being killed by slaughterfish on every tune. I'm so glad, like, woohoo, achievement. Just be a little
It'll be nice to see.
They'll mean a
It'll
bit
be nice to see everything consolidated when I'm looking through my achievements list, though, because I like to see those bars full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See that? It makes me happy. And that system might even change. I'm not even sure once it goes to if it'll still just be the list right there, and then all the characters just have the same bar filled, or if they'll somehow change that interface, whatever. But I like to see it all filled up. It just feels good.
Same with the sticker book.
Gratifying.
I'll never see No Bone Unbroken pop up on my screen again.
You got some time. Go get it.
There'll be other
You got a
ones.
tank,
Do it
buddy.
again in 2 weeks.
You got a tank and I got a DD. Let's get it. What are you doing this? What are you doing this evening?
That's what I was asking you about earlier. I was like, hey, now I want to get other people.
That's one of the fun things that we do, like with our two groups, right? That are running our content. When one of us gets it, we like to contact the other one, like, hey, this is how we did. This was the strat we used, and whether or not they use it is up to them. But we like to share that information, or like for instance, when the OPMC boys got that Nature's Wrath, it might have been Darkside. I hit up the next day, like, what's up, buddy? What are you doing? Let's go get a Nature's Wrath, and they fucking took me in there. We got that shit in one pull, I think. And it's fun. We can use each other and kind of help each other and bounce off of each other and whatnot. So yeah, let's go fucking. My wife's looking at me like. But yeah, so we won't be getting in there sometime soon. Get that right, baby.
Anything else before we? It's been such a pleasure having you, dude. I'm glad.
I'm having a great time. I'm just hanging out and chatting with my homies.
Yeah. We have had a quality conversation on this week's episode. I'll tell you what.
But I can't wait to go game.
Yeah, I'm getting amped for this evening now. This kind of like pumped me up to go.
A lot of fun events this evening, and by the time you listen to this, those events would have already been fucking smashed. I hope you smashed them with us.
Weeks.
Shield of the North tonight.
Yeah, check out this upcoming week's events. I'm sure more trials will be posted. By the time this drops on Monday, maybe Tuesday, we generally put those events in early so you can sign up and
post them yourself. Get in there, check out the pin that Papa Brew posted for us there, and looking for group. Give it a couple tries. If the first time it doesn't work out right, you can delete it. You can try again. It's kind of a wonky thing. We've all been there. Just once you get comfortable with it. J-Rod's got some cool events. She just recently started posting them. We're getting some more interest, which is just adding to the content that we all get to run. A lot of us are growing right now, and we're at a point where a lot of this content is really we're getting a lot of clears, and we're just kind of increasing activity. So let's keep that going. Let's fucking see you out there on the battlefield.
Hell yeah. Well, I don't have much to plug other than obviously my Twitch channel. As always, I'm streaming over on Twitch, twitch.tv/BrueCru. We have an exciting giveaway happening right now within the guild till the end of the month. That if you send a screenshot of following me, you get 1 entry, or if subscribing to me, you get 2 entries to a 200K giveaway by Daddy Dare, who also threw down a gauntlet the other night in chat saying if we got to 300 followers, he would give 50 subs in the channel, which is huge. I mean, that's a lot. Yeah. And that would mean a lot to me. Obviously, as a streamer, it benefits me, and I'd be ever thankful. So tell your friends, share it with your parents, sign them up for Twitch. I don't care. Get your siblings' accounts. I don't know. Just get them on Twitch. Get them to follow me, and I'd be ever so grateful. And hey, if you're in the guild and you send a screenshot, there's an entry for 200K for you. I mean, that's a good bit of gold. But I mean, even tonight on stream, it'll be past by the time it comes out. But 1 million gold's being given away on stream tonight. That's a fucking lot of gold.
It's a lot of gold, boys.
That's a lot of gold.
A lot of scratch.
You listeners just missed out on that. So.
Yeah, so come check it out.
That means that somebody right now was 1 million gold richer. Yeah, as you all listen to this, whoever
congratulations
that future rich person. Congratulations.
1 million gold, and we do crown crates generally as our normal giveaway. You get free crown crates, which is dope. So I mean, come check out stream. There's fun interactive stuff while you're there. It is, and I would greatly appreciate it as a streamer. Yeah, anybody else got anything to plug?
Just that I love everybody I game with. I love you guys. We're a family. I really appreciate the Dynasty and everybody out there listening to this. You're the reason I play it.
Yeah, reach out.
That's all. Not to get too soft. Not to get too soft on you guys.
Well spoken. It's perfect.
No, I love my gaming friends. I mean,
Jerry, say it back. Say it back right now, Jerry. I know you're listening to this.
Jerry, I wanted to mean it.
Jerry,
fucking mean it.
Quicker.
But I mean, these guys online, guys and gals online, we say family a lot, but we really are very family-esque. We talk to each other almost daily. We know what's going on. We share that with each other. And it's a fun
you
group.
don't
We're
have
always
to be that.
accepting new family members. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to be that open at first when you come in. It might be a little intimidating because I
Because
was
we
thinking
do
about that
know
the
each
other
other.
day.
When I'm
so
when I'm
inviting
trying
sometimes.
to recruit players, I try not to be too overly aggressive with it. And
Right.
it's always like, yeah,
You
we
can
are a
weird
big
out people.
family, but you can just, I mean, do your thing, ease into it. You don't even have to be in chat if you don't want to. If just hit me up and we'll go do some silent runs and we'll just get some content done. I mean, maybe we'll just go at your own pace. So it can be a little intimidating. It really can. But we're just all fucking ready just to meet new
like
people.
that.
So if you do ever get comfortable and you want to start having some fun with us, then we'll be here for you whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Whatever level you're gaming or you want to interact.
That's why I try and focus on the new members too. If someone new pops in the chat and they say something, I try to like call, like, "Hey, I didn't hear you." And that generally gets Bruce asking something.
Yeah, because
generally shuts up at that point.
I've been around for a minute now, so if I'm trying to say something to Dark Side and he doesn't hear me, I wouldn't take offense to that because I know something's just going on, But yeah, somebody who's new and they're in chat, if they say something, it just kind of gets lost in chat. That might be the chance that we had to maybe cultivate another friendship.
Like, hey, Xerxes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, man? It's good to have you. Glad you came in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for this week. It's a great episode.
Been a pleasure.
A lot of fun stuff on the horizon. Yeah. Hope to see you guys in there. Let's have some fun.
Do it together.
Much love.
Let's do it together.
Let's do it together. Cheers.